Hey everybody, it's Cynthia, and today I am here with one big pop culture party. I kind of hit a new old passion of mine at an estate sale this week, so I thought I would talk to you a little bit about party supplies to resell on eBay. We've had mostly good luck buying this kind of thing, and there's a few things that you should look for, and we're certainly going to talk about those, but what I want to say right off the bat is vintage party supplies, not even that vintage, even party supplies from last year, the year before, themes that are no longer available are very hot on eBay, not just for kids, but for grown-ups too. And here's why. I am a diehard fangirl, and I have been to lots of fan conventions where people have themed parties. So for example, when Lord of the Rings was big, Pirates of the Caribbean were first out, the grown-ups would run out to the party stores to buy all of those themed dishes and napkins and cups to have for their fanish parties. So keep your eye out for movie themes, particularly ones that are popular with adults, like Harry Potter, like, as I said, Lord of the Rings. Gosh, just about any old movie that was once on place. Ghostbusters, huge party supplies. If you can find vintage Ghostbusters party supplies, those are definite buys. Pick them up. They've got great value. Now, what I picked up this week was a lot of mostly Disney. And there's some good or bad here. I took a few chances we're going to see. I was in an estate sale. This woman had a huge box of just stacks and stacks of party supplies, about half of which were kids' party supplies. I left the generic ones behind. Maybe I shouldn't have. She did have some just generic, like firemen, and there was some pieces to a Thomas the Train collection, but not quite enough. I mostly stuck with the Disneys with one exception. Now, the best items, of course, are the ones that are still sealed. This is the old Mickey and Kids label, which I think is from the 90s. I feel like this is when my son was little. I think we used to buy these for him. Real cute set here. She had the napkins, which, again, completely sealed. The small party plates and a set of cups, all from the same line. Now, when you can find all the pieces from the same line, that's even better. So sets like this, vintage ones, this particular set is not even up on eBay right now, but similar sets that are probably about from the same era do sell for anywhere from $10 to $15, depending on how many pieces you have. Now, again, these aren't huge money makers, but considering how cheap you can usually pick this kind of thing up, they're worth it. I paid probably in the neighborhood of 50 cents for each piece that you're looking at here. So about $1.50 for this. She gave me a combined price, so it's hard to say. So that I put up together as a set. Now this one, this birthday plate, this is super. This I think is even older. It's from a company called Contempo, and they bought it someplace called Roadrunner, where it was $3 and then 50 cents. That's what makes me think this is pretty old. So this is Mickey and the Gang. It does say the Walt Disney Company, which I think helps some people date. I should have put that. Now that I'm thinking about that, I need to put that on my listing, because that does help you date a product, how the Walt Disney Company name is represented in the trademark. If you don't know that, and you do sell Disney items, look that up online. So anyway, this is a set of 10 of the larger plates. Very cute. Any Disney fan would love to have this. Again, not just for kids, but for a grown-up's birthday. So we've got those up for, I think I put those up at about $9.99. I shouldn't have too much trouble getting them. I know that seems like a lot for plates, but again, when somebody's looking for a vintage, you know, they're going to buy what they want to buy. Now, this is a little more of a chance. This is a large set of Little Mermaid napkins, a couple of the small plates, and a couple of the large plates. So as you can see, these have no wrapping. So I'm really taking a chance here that somebody's going to want them. People may feel weird about buying things you're going to eat off of that aren't still sealed. Some people may not matter because they just love Little Mermaid, or they're going to use them really more for decor. They're going to put stuff on them that isn't, you know, they're not worried about the food going on them. These did come from Hallmark, and this particular style, again, is not available right now on eBay. So I feel like it's probably an older style, maybe going back as far as the movie. Again, 90s, I'm thinking would be my guess on this, given where all the stuff is. So that's a real wild card. You know, I might get $10 for this whole set. I might not, but I thought it's Little Mermaid. I couldn't pass it up and giving it a try. The bigger wild card was this set that I kind of threw in at the last minute, figuring she was going to make me a deal on the whole bunch. This is a set of Hot Wheels, a lot of plates, a lot of smaller plates, and a huge set of napkins, none of which are sealed. But again, I figured she charged me, maybe $1 for this entire bag. I thought it was worth a try. Hey, worst case scenario, I'm not a big fan of party napkins, but paper plates, I can always use paper plates in my house. We'll use them. I don't have them here, but I did want to mention I made one really big tactical error. I got a little too excited about the whole party wear, and I was at Salvation Army, and they were just putting out, they had bins of fresh items, as it were, and there was a set of generic Halloween plates. I love Halloween, but generic Halloween plates are not really big sellers, and I grabbed them anyway because I was in that mood and I was looking for something to buy. And then when I got home, the whole back of the plate, I was sneezing all the way home, and the whole time I got home, I was sneezing my head off. Finally realized why. The whole back, this back label that's always on here, was soaked with some kind of either perfume or dishwashing liquid. Some kind of perfumey liquid had dripped out in this box with the plates and covered the plastic. I tried ripping the plastic off to see if that would help it go away, but it had soaked through some of the plates. They're trash. I don't know how I didn't notice that in the store. This is what happens when you get excited about shopping. You start grabbing things. Luckily, it wasn't anything major, wasn't anything I spent a lot of money on, and wasn't even going to be a big dollar seller. I don't even know why I grabbed them in the first place. They were my mistake of the day. We all make them. Now, the other item I want you to look for when you're looking at party supplies, what I don't have here that you definitely want to look for are like party banners, tablecloths, anything like that. Again, vintage, super, anything that is a pop culture recognizable characters. The older the better, and the more obscure the better. So like if it's a movie that hardly anybody knows, you find a movie, like there's a movie Willow, I bet you they made plates and cups for that. If you find that, buy them, because somebody out there is dying for this thing, a collector or somebody who wants to use it for a fan party. Like I said, the weirder the better. What I'd stay away from, although there's, again, always gotta say, I'm not saying there's no money in these items, but in general, when you have limited time, you don't know what you're looking for, I'd stay away from things like Barbie, things that have been put out a lot of times. Any of the more modern properties, Monster High, those kind of things, they're just too easy to come by. People can get them so cheap online. They don't need to buy them at collectible vintage prices for you. Think collector, think vintage. Don't think about somebody who wants to actually use it for a party. I did also sell once a huge box. It was Dixie Cups. Put out a huge box of Little Nemo napkins, plates, cups. I thought it was going to sell like crazy because it was a giant box full of stuff, and we did finally sell it, not for very much money. And once again, I learned my lesson. I guess it was just too new. Somebody wanted it, and, again, they got their money for it, but I paid too much for it in the store. All right, moving on. The next thing I want to talk about are cake toppers. Let's start with, actually, these, because these are real cake toppers. I'll move it a little bit. So cake toppers, when you have a themed cake and they've got these big chunky plastic pieces sitting on the top. DecoPack is the company that makes the majority of the ones that you find that you get when you go to an actual grocery store or cake store, that kind of thing. This is a DecoPack Cinderella. It came with this chunky plastic PVC pumpkin coach and Cinderella, and it's her information's down there in her dress. So we stumbled upon accidentally a whole bunch of cake toppers that my local grocery store was getting rid of, I guess themes that weren't selling anymore, and we did really well with those, particularly Betty Boop. We had Betty Boop toppers. I can't even tell you. I think we sold them for about 25 cents, $25 a piece. We bought them for 25 cents a piece. There were actually 2 sets of these in the bag that I bought that came from the same estate sale where I bought these other party items. So I paid about 50 cents for the pair, and I should be able to get at least $10 to $12 clear. I'd say 10 after shipping. Should be able to get on these. They're kind of vintage. They're not real old. Again, I think they're from the 90s, and they're real cute for any Cinderella fan. So cake toppers, same things apply. if you get a decent price on them, grab them at whatever theme they are, because they're very expensive to buy new, and cake decorators and people who, home bakers want them. We also, from the same sale, she had these two Sesame Street. Now these are kind of double duty. This is the other way. So this is a deco pack. Yeah, it's PVC, but it really is made for cakes. These are PVC that could have just been made as just, toys that you find in the bin. I'm thinking because they have numbers on them that they were designed to be for a cake for a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old party. We've got Bert and Ernie. Or, you got a Sesame Street fan who's all grown up. Hey, there's 24, there's 42. That's somebody who grew up with Sesame Street. Get them together, put them on a cake. How adorable is that? Come on, we all need to relive our childhood, right? So I've never bought or sold Sesame Street cake toppers before, but I'm taking a chance at them. People do have some of these up in the $3 to $4 range, plus shipping on top, so I'd be okay with that. Again, I probably paid, oops, they all fall down. I probably paid less than 25 cents each because I got them in a bag with other items. My favorite find was this set, which some of you will recognize. So this is a set of Teletubbies. Again, I don't think these were designed to be cake toppers. I believe they came in a 4-pack just as PVC toys, but very cute as cake toppers. They'd make excellent cake toppers. So we're going to sell these. We're going to sell these kind of high because they are hard to find as a grouping. So I think I have them up at about $25. The final item that happened to be in the box was just this little Baby Bop. If I can find a Barney to go with it, then totally I'm there. So that's what I've got for you this week. Pop Culture Party Supplies. Why don't you tell me if you've ever found any, if you've had any good luck with them? I would love to hear about it.